my name is Tara. Today I'm going to be making a cauliflower bake. It's not necessarily an Irish dish, but I'm using primarily Irish ingredients. What I have here for the topping for the bake is cauliflower, about 1.1 kg, 75 grams cashew nuts, 30 mils of olive oil, 15 grams of nutritional yeast, and a half a teaspoon of fine sea salt. The base of my bake is going to be these greens. It's just a combination of kale and spinach, leek and cabbage. The total of everything is about 700 grams. That's just what we had in the polytunnel at the moment, so that's what I'm using. I'm going to cook them in a tablespoon of coconut oil and add in 2 teaspoons of tamari, a tablespoon of rice vinegar, 40 mils of water, and a half a teaspoon of salt. And then here I have 2 teaspoons of arrowroot dissolved in 2 teaspoons of water. So that's all going to come together for my base. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so to start, I have my cauliflower steaming in a pot for 12 minutes. And while that's cooking, I'm going to start with my base. So I have this pot heating on a medium-high heat, and I'm going to add a tablespoon of coconut oil. Just going to wait for that to melt a little bit. And then I'm going to add in my leek. So we have to wait for that to wilt down, so that will usually take a couple of minutes. Okay, so once my leek has wilted down a little bit, I'm going to add in the cabbage. With my salt. Just going to wait a couple of minutes for that to wilt down. Just stirring it. And once that has wilted down a little bit, I'm just going to slightly turn down the heat and put the cover on the pot and leave that for 6 to 8 minutes for it to cook. Okay, so next you want to add your kale and spinach in, 1 handful at a time. So you put 1 handful and let it wilt down, and gradually it will all fit in. In the meantime, your cauliflower should be done. So we'll just lift that off. And I'm going to pop that in a bowl and set it aside here to let it cool, because we're going to blend that up for our topping. So if you stir down your kale and spinach and keep adding in your handfuls. Okay, so once all your kale and spinach fits into the pot, I'm going to cover with a lid and put it to a medium-low heat and let it cook for 3 minutes. You should preheat your oven to 190 degrees while that's happening. And now I'm going to make the cauliflower topping. So I'm going to add a Vitamix here. If you're using a food processor, you'll need to add a little bit more water in if it's not as powerful as this. So we have our cashew nuts, olive oil, nutritional yeast, and our salt. And then we're gonna add in the cauliflower. That is all that will fit in for the moment. Okay, so I'm gonna blend this now. It's going to be a little bit loud. I started on the low speed and gradually build it up. And push the cauliflower down to help it blend. So keep mixing it around. It will eventually turn into a cauliflower topping. Okay, so once that's blended into a cream, you can turn it off and leave it aside for the moment. And then back to your base. So we'll give that a quick stir there. All of your greens should be cooked at this stage. And I'm gonna add in my 40 mils of water, tablespoon of rice vinegar, and the tamari. I'm gonna give it a good stir and just let it cook for a couple of minutes. Okay, so the last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add my arrowroot, which I had dissolved in water, just kind of drizzle it on top. And I'm gonna stir that around. This will thicken up the sauce so that the base will be a little bit thicker. And I'm just gonna let that cook for about 1 minute. And you should see it thickening up straight away. And once that's done, you can set this aside. You have your base done and your topping done. All we need to do is combine. Okay, so now it's time to put the bake together. I have the base here, so you can see how much that has cooked down, all of those greens. And we have our cauliflower topping here. So I'm just gonna pop them into a casserole dish. I think this one is 8 inches diameter. I'm just gonna say meters there. So I'll just pop the base in first of all. Kind of push it down a bit. Try to get all our greens in. So I'll just push that down, and that's going to be the bottom layer. Okay, and next put the cauliflower topping, which should be nice and creamy like that. And just layer it on the top. And spread it out as you go, as evenly as possible. To get all of it from the bottom, but as much as I can and spread that out. Okay, so that's ready to go in the oven now. So your oven has been preheated, 190 degrees. Just gonna put that in and stick the timer on for 30 minutes. There we go. Okay, so after your 30 minutes, our bake should be done. It should look a little bit like this. And we'll take out a scoopful of it there. So we have our greens on the bottom and the cream of cauliflower on the top. So it goes as a perfect side dish to any meal, and it can even be a main part of your meal with some salad, and it freezes really well. So you can just take it out, pop it in the oven, heat it up, and you're ready to go. So there you have it. Thanks for watching.